Hi there.
Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 669. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is October 7th, 2024, and Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns. It's been a week, a little more than a week, I think, since we
A little
recorded
over.
last. I've got progress on stuff, but nothing new. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I have spinning that y'all have seen, but everything else is kind of finishing up projects. I'm trying to not cast on anything new until I finish some things up. So I have a completed heel, actually a completed sock, on
Mm.
my Teeny Button Studio socks. This was in one of her Hocus Pocus colorways. I crinked the tubes, had to add the ribbing, the toe, and the heel. And I did that on size 0 needles. And all I have left to do is cut a stitch and get a heel in there. So hopefully I will finish these this week and I can wear them for Halloween. So that is the first thing that is in progress, and those have been in progress like 3 years. So it will be good to get those done. The second thing in progress is also a sock on size 0 needles. It's living in an Amy Beth bag.
I like that one.
I do too. Um, and I am in the middle of a row because I was knitting on this while waiting for something at some point. But I have finished the heel. I don't know if that was done last time. I have a feeling it wasn't. I also dropped a ton of stitches. Um, and I am working on the cuff. So I'm gonna make these a little bit shorter. I have a lot. I've been going through my socks and washing them. So I have a lot that have a little bit longer cuffs, especially Halloween socks. And since it is still 90 degrees in Mississippi in October, I am probably gonna do these as a little bit shorter, like 3-inch cuffs. So those are the yarn for that is by this person. And
Havirland?
sure. And this is their Potomac sock base in the lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights colorway. Um, so yeah, those are underway. Also, this bag has stars as the lining, which is great.
Oh,
Amy Beth does a great job with her bags. I have two other projects that are in progress. I've been kind of rotating through projects this week. I've been doing 2 hours a day on each for the most part. Some have gotten to a point where I can't make some progress, but I have been making a lot of progress on my Telly Beans Halloween cowl. So last time y'all saw this, it was up in the bats, and I am about to start the ghost section. So I am about to start section 9 of 13. So I am cautiously optimistic that this will get done in time for Halloween this year. And then I might start this year's cowl. I have the minis all wound. But I am already, what day is it? The seven.
7th.
I am 7 days late already to starting that one. So they are almost to the point where I am on this one. But I did want to finish this one first. Um,
The
yeah,
colors are really good.
I like the colors. This was assorted different minis. There's some Miss Babs in here. There's some Leading Men Fiber Arts in here. I think the pink was from Hobbledehoy's mom, Marigold Jen. Um, so lots and lots of different ones in there. I'm a little worried I'm gonna run out of yarn of the green for the last panel, but I can always switch it to a different color. And then the last thing I have been working on is my Layla sweater. It is on size 4 needles. I'm using my interchangeable Chigu Fortes. It is knit from the bottom up, and I also stopped. Nope, I didn't stop in the middle of the, yes, I did. I stopped where I ran out of yarn. So I ran out of yarn in the middle of a row. I have spun more yarn. I will show you all that in a second. But I definitely made some progress. I am just about ready to, it's around 18 inches. So I am just about ready to start the underarms and work my way up. This uses two different yarns. This is hand spun by me out of some Into the World on a gray Cordell base in the colorway Just Pretentious Enough. And then the gray at the bottom is Modern Daily Knitting Atlas, which is a Rambo um, worsted weight yarn. That's very soft and squishy. So that will come more into play as the sweater gets a little bit longer. So that is what I have on the needles, and I have no finished objects. What are you working on, friend?
So spoiler alert, I also have no finished objects. But considering that Laura and I counted, I have 5 sweaters on the needles. That should probably surprise no one that I have no finished objects. Because I'm trying to rotate between them and work on one for a little bit, then work on another for a little bit, and then work on another. So, um,
There are puppy paws underneath my door and crying happening.
no, she
Yep.
got groomed today, so she's extra grumpy.
She's actually doing all right. She's just
Yeah.
very tiny. She cannot jump in and out of my car anymore. She's gotten too old, so I bought her a ramp.
Does she
So,
use it?
no. So we are going to do some training on that. I had to lift her 70-pound self into my car today and out
I
of
bet
my
with
car
some,
today.
I bet with some treats and training,
Yeah,
like you said,
that's
it'll,
what's gonna happen.
yeah, that's a good
But her
plan.
paws are currently going underneath the door and she's barking. So
Oh, poor
she's very
baby.
sad to get locked out. She was ignoring me earlier, but now she's sad she can't be right beside me.
Yeah, because you're talking and she can hear you, and she's like, I
Yep,
want to be involved in this.
absolutely.
So the thing that I'm working on right this second is the Rocket T. And this is by Tanis, and I'm using hand spun that Laura spun, and this is the SSK colorway from this year from Kim Dye's Yarn. So I love that it's striping because the pattern actually has you use 2 different yarns and stripe them. And this was, I had no idea it would do it, and I'm thrilled that it is. I'm sure Laura intended it that way because she's a brilliant spinner, but
I just
uh,
spun end to end, so
well,
it worked out well.
it did. It worked out really well. So I haven't made a super ton of progress on this. Um, so I've made like 4 or 5 rows. This is where I was last week. So I'm gonna move that stitch or that progress keeper, and I would love to have, I don't know, 2 inches because I have a craft weekend this weekend where I'll be
Huh?
sitting around and talking to people. So this is gonna be my project that I focus
How
on.
long do you usually make your sweaters from the underarms?
It depends on where I want them to land on my hip, but I think this one will probably be around 17-ish inches. We'll see. Um, it's at about 8 now, somewhere in that range. So, um, I probably should like weigh this, like weigh how much is in the skein right now, and then knit an inch and then weigh it again. And
I have
that'll
a
give
whole
me like,
nother skein for you.
I know. I was just thinking like this will give me an idea of like how long this skein will last. But I'm thrilled that you have a whole nother skein for me. That's exciting. Um, Yeah, so I'm knitting. This is the Rocket Tee, and I'm doing it without the detail on the side. It's just fully stockinette all the way. Um, and this is what I've got left. It is finally noticeably getting smaller for me. It's a fingering weight, so this is a lot of yardage. So,
It was
um,
1,100 total yards, I think.
yeah, and I
About
have
there.
recollection of what the sweater calls for as far as yardage. Nor do I have the printed pattern with me. So another thing that I've been working on is the Oban cardigan. And this one is in the middle of a row because that's where I ran out of yarn. But I do have a marker from where I was last time. So I've gotten about 4+ inches
That's great.
since the last time. This is worsted or DK worsted, so it goes a lot faster. Or you get more like yardage for your buck. So these are pockets, and then this is up from the pocket. So I need to measure the person that this is for to see how far I need to go before I go to the underarm. This is a Thea Coleman baby cocktails pattern, and it's a cardi, and the back is very heavily cabled. This is out of Jared Flood's Brooklyn Tweed um, uh, shelter. And I thought it was called confetti, but it's not. Meteorite is what it's called. Um, and the yardage on these is white, 140 yards. So I want to say they're like 4 ounces, something like that, or 100 grams maybe.
Maybe more like 50 grams.
Yeah, it might be. It doesn't say it on
Because
here.
if
So
it's worsted weight, a worsted spun worsted weight is usually around 220 grams or
yeah,
220 yards per 100 grams. And that's woolen spun.
yeah, it doesn't say on here. So it might be. I mean, it is only 140 yards, so it could be
Yeah.
that it's a 50-gram skein. I don't know off the top of my head, but um, yeah, this will probably also go with me, and so will this other sweater. So I'll have stuff to pick from. Although this one goes quicker. So this is the Wave of Change pullover, and this is the back. Uh, Wave of Change by Denise Barron, and this is out of Barocco Remix. This is the heavier weight one. Um, I had just separated for the sleeves last time, so I've got maybe 5 inches
Oh,
um, on this. This is one where it's just stockinette, except every 10th row you do a reverse stockinette row, so you have a little bit of visual interest. Um, the only challenge I have with this one is that it requires me to knit on large needles. I think these are 10 and a halves or 11s, 10 and a halves. So like I can't, it hurts my hands after a while. I have to take a break because it's a lot of manipulation. So yeah, these are out of Barocco Remix that I got from a Goodwill auction. I got a sweaters lot for like $16 or something. So um, did I need to be on the Goodwill site? No, but sometimes it's late and you make bad decisions. So, but I love Barocco Remix. I just don't need more yarn. Like, yeah, because this feels like sweatshirty, and that makes me happy. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on. And I have no spinning. I expect I will have some sewing next week though, so that'll be exciting. What about you?
I have some finished skeins and then some in progress spins. So I have another 4 ounces of the gray Cordell for my Layla sweater. Hopefully this will get me through. It is around 220 yards from 4 ounces. It is a 3-ply.
You make a
Hopefully
really beautiful 3-ply. It's very like round, like it's a very, I don't know, it's just a very
3-plies
squishable.
are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So 3-plies are very round and squishable, and so this hopefully will get me through the rest of that sweater. If it doesn't, I do have another braid if I need it, and a smidge left over on the bobbins. And then I finished, this is still wet, but this is the Eureka Dye Works.
Whoa.
It is 8 ounces in the Before Sunrise colorway. Vicky does such a great job with her fiber. It is so reasonably priced. I would go as far as to say it is underpriced for the amount of work that I know that she does. It is 1,100 yards of a 2-ply, and I am going to knit a Twinkle Twinkle blanket out of it for a
Ooh.
friend.
That'll be really pretty.
So that is the plan for that. And then what's on the wheel in here currently is some sparkle fiber that I got from Honey Gold Acres at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. So it is very sparkly. It is 30% white stellina and 70% merino. And my friend Becca asked for a hat for her birthday. So I told her to pick out a colorway, and this is it. So she is going to get a Sockhead S Cat. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit of a darker weight. Um, out of all the sparkles. So first bobbin is done, second bobbin is on the wheel and is probably around halfway done. And then this would be the third. And there's sparkle everywhere in my studio, which is very, very fun. Um, but yeah, so that is what I'm spinning. I still have some other projects in progress. I will tell you that I was very proud of myself. All that I had left over from that 2-ply from Eureka Dye Works is that.
Whoa, that is amazing.
So I got within several yards of it being probably 2, 3 yards of it being the exact same. Um,
That is impressive, friend. And how long
this
did it take you
much.
to fly that?
6 hours.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited to knit that up. And Pearl is very grumpy with me right now. But yeah, that's it for me for spinning for the most part. I've got a couple more things to ply and get washed. That is the plan for tonight while I watch some hockey. And then tomorrow I have to figure out what I am taking on our crafting trip. I think I'm just gonna take knitting. I don't think I'm gonna take any spinning with me. So I've got several projects in progress that I would like to finish. So we'll see.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you'll itch to, I don't know, maybe not. You know you way better than I know you, but not having
So
the
I've
option to
taken
spin.
a wheel the last 3 years, and last year I didn't use it at all.
Well, you were ill for like 36 hours last year too.
Yeah. Um, so I maybe, yeah, I really didn't use it at all. The year before, I spent a little bit, maybe a quarter of an ounce. So I don't know, especially since I'm going to be picking people up from the airport and room is kind of tight. I don't know that it's a good use of the room in my car to bring a
Yeah.
wheel.
I mean, if you don't want
But
to do it, don't want to do it. Yeah.
I've got lots of other projects. I'd like to finish the Layla sweater and the socks this week. At least one of the pairs of socks. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, as far as like entertainment, I have been listening to Fuzzy Nation, which I've listened to several times. It's a John Scalzi book that's narrated by Will Wheaton. It's sort of sci-fi-ish, but I really like it. I've got just a couple hours left, and then I'm still reading the same book I was reading last week, which is A Dark and Rising Tide. It's um, horror-ish, but not. It's like a horror suspense kind of with a little bit of a Cthulhu-esque kind of take on it. And then um, I started watching the new season of Love is Blind because I'm a glutton for punishment and I know better, but I just can't help myself. What about you?
I have been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I finished Juniper Rising, not Juniper, Jupiter Rising by Gary Schmidt, which is a young adult's not super happy novel. It was really good. It made me cry several times, but it was very, very good. I enjoyed it. And that is a YA contemporary fiction. And then I restarted the Summertide Chronicles by Sam Burns, which is a male fantasy. The second one just
Mhm.
came out a couple days ago, I think on the 3rd. Um, so I am reading that.
Awesome.
Yep.
And hockey, right? You've been watching a lot of hockey and
One game. Yeah,
oh,
it's still
okay.
preseason, and the
Ah, okay.
Steelers played last night. But they had a rain delay and it didn't get started till almost 9 o'clock my time. So I
Oof.
did not stay up very late to watch that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I watched through halftime, but unfortunately they lost in the last minute. I'll be all right. But yeah, um, actually with like color work and some more complicated stuff, I cannot listen to anything. I've gotta just be chill. So a lot of that has just been quiet time, which is nice.
Yeah. Hmm. Um, sometimes that's best. It's like meditative that way sometimes. So
Yeah, well, I've just gotta, if when I'm reading charts, I've gotta focus, otherwise I'll make mistakes.
yeah.
I did that the other day and had to rip out a row. So I messed up the first stitch of the row and had to go over
Oh,
that. I didn't realize it till the end. So it was fine. It did not take very long to rip out a row.
yeah.
But yeah, I just gotta focus. Sometimes that's the thing that has to happen.
Yeah. Being an adult, it's lame.
Oh, it's not, I mean, it's crafting. It's just Fair Isle is more, I don't do it very often, so I've got to focus.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
yep, that's about it for me.
So
Just lots of Zooms. Oh, yeah.
we're going to try to record during the crafting weekend,
Yeah, that'll be
which will
fun.
be fun. Um, sometimes we forget that we plan to do stuff like that. So we'll see. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Um, but yeah, otherwise, that's all I've got. Do you have any other things
Oh,
you wanted to talk about?
that's
Okay.
about it. SSK is happening next year. I've had a couple people text me asking if it was happening. It is happening. We've signed a contract. We just have to get some teachers finished getting lined up and get them contracts.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the formal announcement.
We like to have all our little ducks in a row before we start taking people's money. So, but yeah, soon. But yeah, so otherwise, we will talk to you next week and hope you have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Bye, y'all.